Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. So today I thought of taking Pulse of Recovery written by Amit Chowdhury, and this essay talks about how bilingualism, that is the usage of the native language as well as English language in Indian context. So, the Indian writers in English are often accused with the uncomfortable question about why they don't write in their own language. And Amit Chowdhury traces this question back to the Bengali poet Michael Madhusudan Dutt. As you all know, Michael Madhusudan Dutt is a famous poet from Bengal and a key motive in the life of writers since Dutt has been that of first disowning and then gradually recovering or trying to recover that elusive quality that Chowdhury calls Indianness, for the want of a better word. So this Michael Madhusudan Dutt during the early career, he was condemned with Indian culture and he praised the British culture. But in the later phase of his period, he came to a realization that Indian culture is the best, and he started to write positive things about Indian culture. Throughout his most works, we can see that in the earlier phase of his career, the works which he wrote in the earlier phase of his career contains themes of British culture, while on the other hand, the works which are written during the later phase of his life shows that he was in constant need for the Indian culture. And this is what he means by disowning and then recovering. Disowning means just like Michael Madhusudan Dutt, he was at first he was disowning the Indian culture, but later he started to recover his love for Indian culture. And this struggle between disowning and recovery is considered as a paradigm around which a substantial part of modern Indian literature and culture is structured. While Dutt was still a student, Bengal already had a native bourgeoisie and intelligence, and the social reformers who came from this intelligence followed the same trajectory of disowning and recovery. So, Amit Chowdhury says that when Dutt was still a student in Bengal, Dutt was still a student in Bengal. At that time, Bengal had a bourgeoisie and intelligent people at that time, and these people, just like Michael Madhusudan Dutt, at first they were not interested in Indian culture, and later they started to like the Indian culture. That is, they started to write about Indian culture in their own native languages. And Chowdhury cites the example of Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who campaigned actively for reforms within Hinduism. And Roy, just like Michael Madhusudan Dutt, Raja Mohan Roy disowned many of the ritualistic and idolatrous aspects of Hinduism. And as we all know, during the independence, before the independence, Raja Ram Mohan Roy was against the practices against women, especially that of sati and so on. So at first he was against all of the rituals and practices of Hinduism, and then he founded the Brahma Samaj. And in the later phase of his life, he articulated the need for Hinduism, and by returning to Upanishads and rediscovering the universal Brahmin. So during the later phase of his career, he began to read Upanishads and he decided to become a Brahmin. And Michael Madhusudan thus also followed have similar life, and at first phase of his life he converted to Christianity, and in Bengal at that time, many of the people were not writing in English, and Michael Madhusudan Dutt decided to cut that ritual, and he began to start writing poetry in English. But in the late 1850s, he returned to writing in Bengali with his poem Meghanadatta Kavya, claiming that, and this was about Hindu mythology. And earlier he claimed that he was not interested in Hinduism, and it was the reason that he converted to Christianity. Now he claims that he is not caring for Hinduism, but he is fascinated by the mythology or history of his ancestors, and this poem was about the son of Ravana. It was about the son of Ravana, and the very Amit Chowdhury says that that has chosen to write about the son of Ravana, who is the tragic hero, and this suggests the transition of rejection to rediscovery was a complex and nuanced process. And from this work, which was written by Michael Madhusudan Dutt, Amit Chowdhury says that this, just like the son of Ravana, Michael Madhusudan also faces a lot of complex process from start till the end of his life. And that also introduced the sonnet form. The sonnet form. It was a major form of poetry in England. So there are mainly two types of sonnets: Petrarchan and Shakespearean sonnet. And that also tried to introduce his own sonnet form into Bengali language, and he calls this as Chadur Dashpati. So his sonnet form is known as Chadur Dashpati. And then Amit C. Chowdhury then for talks about, after Michael Madhusudan Dutt, Amit Chowdhury talks about the Malayali writer O.V. Vijayan. I guess everyone knows about O.V. Vijayan. He's the most famous Malayali writer, philosopher, and an orator. And Vijayan's loosely autobiographical novel Khazakinte Idihasam. I know everyone is aware of this book, and this is about a young school teacher who comes to a village which in many senses caught in a time wrap. And the teacher, who had come from the town in order to enlighten the young minds of the village, finds himself being transformed by the village and its inhabitants. And in a sense, we can see that the teacher, the teacher, just like Michael Madhusudan Dutt, he was an ardent follower of British culture, and afterwards, when he came to the village, he began to see how his culture was different from that of the culture of the people of the village, and he was fascinated by that, and he transformed into their culture. And O.V. Vijayan is also a member of the Communist Party, and he talks about how he had taken up a job in the village of Tasrak, which is in Palakkad district, to write about a revolutionary novel. So Vijayan, who was a member of Communist Party, took up a job in the village of Tasrak to write about a revolutionary novel. But Vijayan was transformed. But due to the situation of that village, he decided not to write a revolutionary novel, but rather a polyphonic narrative. And this was the result of Khazakinte Idihasam. So this led to the autobiographical novel Khazakinte Idihasam. And it is very interesting to note that Vijayan, just like Michael Madhusudan Dutt, is very fluent in English. And also another important fact is that O.V. Vijayan has done an MA in English before writing his first novel. And then Amit Chowdhury then talks about Kuratulain Haidar, who is a Urdu writer. U R Anandamurthy, who is a Kannada writer, Mahashweta Devi, who is a Bengali writer, and Ambai, who is a Tamil writer. And he says that these all writers followed the same pattern, just that of Michael Masurendath and O.V. Vijayan. And many of these which I have mentioned below are the students or were the students or teachers of English language. Amit Chaudhary then talks about the poet and critic A.K. Ramanujan, and he says that when he was in the University of Chicago, there was a library and he saw many ancient Tamil texts, and it was the first time he was seeing such ancient Tamil books, and he went to a basement in the University of Chicago library and decided to translate the Tamil ancient books to English, and he is also another example of that. And he also talks about another writer, Indian writer named Neeraj C. Chowdhury. And Amit Chaudhary and Neeraj C. Chowdhury are not related to each other. Actually, the last name Chaudhary denotes the caste name in Bengal, and Chaudhary is the caste name for the landowners in Bengal. And Neeraj C. Chowdhury was born in 1897, and it was at this time there was Bengal Renaissance, and he wrote a autobiography in English. His autobiography was in English language, and at that time it was exceptional for a Bengali to write in any language but his mother tongue. So during Neeraj Chowdhury's time, most of the Bengali writers used to write in Bengali language, but he was an exception and he wrote his autobiography in English. And Amit Chaudhary says that this is considered as an act of disowning his native language. And the dedication of the book to the British rule, which made, shaped, and quickened all that was good and living within us Indians. The dedication of the book to the British rule, which made, shaped, and quickened all that was good and living within us Indians, was also a spectacular statement of allegiance to a culture other than the one in which he was born. So Neeraj C. Chowdhury dedicated his autobiography to the British rule. He says that it was because of the British rule that he was able to write his autobiography in English. And he says that Amit Chaudhary, the essayist here, says that this is an act of disowning his own culture in which he was born. And Chowdhury's work is also here. Chowdhury here denotes Neeraj C. Chowdhury's work. He also very clear about its target readership. There is none of the ambivalence on that count that we see in most other Indian English writers. However, the irony is that almost every sentence in that book resonates with the Bengalness that Chowdhury strove to disown. So, even though he condemned Indian culture, the autobiography, when we read the autobiography, we can find that the sentences denotes his culture, his own culture, which is Bengaliness. Here, Bengaliness denotes his own culture because he was from Bengal, and in the autobiography, he is striving to achieve that culture. So even though he says that he's not interested in that, but his autobiography says otherwise. Then Amit Chaudhary then argues that Neeraj C. Chowdhury, and that for Neeraj C. Chowdhury the process of recovery begins in the midst of acting as interpreter to a non-Bengali, non-Indian audience. Speaking in general about the turn from disowning to the process of recovery, Amit Chaudhary observes that the turn is not really ideological, but more a product of random events and subsequent subconsciously formed associations. And these subconscious associations make this version of modernity different from the narrative of post-coloniality. And in the latter, a confrontation takes place between empire and local culture, English and indigenous forms of knowledge, colonized and colonized. But in the story which I have told, the battle, the struggle takes place within the self. So the story here denotes the story of each writers, which Amit Chowdhury denotes, and he says that the each story of the writers denotes the struggle and the battle which takes place within itself. That is the act of discerning and recovering of culture is what is mentioned by the battle and struggle which takes place in the self. And it is not a battle between the self and the enemy outside. It is a story of modernity, is as much a story of self division as his post colonial narrative is one of empire domination and resistance. Then Chowdhury then goes on to suggest that the milestone in Indian English literature that marks the end of this self-division is Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children. So Amit Chowdhury says that the work which stopped this disowning and recovery of Indian culture was Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children, which was published in 1981. Importance of this work was that in this work nothing is either disowned or recovered, all is embraced. So in this work the British culture as well as the Indian culture is not disowned or recovered, they are embraced together, they are merged together in this work. And Amit Chowdhury then concludes the essay by saying that his own is recovery of his culture through an utmost overnight deep interest that he developed in Hindustani classical music. So Amit Chowdhury was also in this recovery and disowning of his culture, and he says that he decided to recover his culture when he had a deep interest on Hindustani classic music, and this recovery was nearly as dramatic as that of Michael Masunder and other writers discussed in this essay. So Amit Chowdhury says that his recovery was also as dramatic as that of Michael Masunder and other writers which are mentioned in the story, mentioned in this essay, that is O.V. Vijayan and Kuratulain Haidar, U.R. Anandamurthy, Mahashweta Devi and Ambai, and also Neeraj C. Chowdhury. So that's it. I hope you understood the summary of this essay. See you soon in the next video. Bye.